Good evening, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with a evening edition of Packers Daily, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. All you old heads out there will remember that intro from back during the pandemic when I was trapped in my apartment and would be doing chats at night with nothing better to do. So definitely don't want to recall that particular time period, but I did enjoy these late evening sessions. And today was somewhat necessary as my girls are on spring break, and Olive and I went to Medieval Times this afternoon. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you have not been to Medieval Times, you're doing okay. But everyone should probably try to go at least once. It's a lot of fun. I had never been. My girlfriend Sarah had been. She was very enthusiastic about going. Olive really wanted to go. So we geared up and went over to Jersey and had our time at Medieval Times. And now I've seen it. I've done it. It was fun. Probably will never go again, but was a lot of fun. And that meant I couldn't do Packers Daily at the regular time at 5 p.m. Eastern. So I thought, hey, what better way to make sure we get in our chat than a late evening session here on Cheesehead TV. Hello to everybody in the comment section already piling in. Good to see everybody. Thank you for your patience and for being here into the evening. There's a few Packers news and notes today. Obviously, I know everyone's undoubtedly a buzz because the Packers have announced that they have re-signed tight end John Fitzpatrick. I somewhat kid. I know the world needs ditch diggers too, and it is certainly a guy who played some significant special team snaps for them. Was up for I think about 5 or 6 games last year. Provides depth at the tight end position. I still think they'll undoubtedly be looking to improve at that position throughout the draft and the offseason. But someone who's been in your program, knows your scheme, certainly no harm in bringing him back on what I would imagine is a pretty low on the investment side of things. Of course, the more significant somewhat news/headline this morning was the Packers meeting with free agent linebacker and/or /safety/slot corner Isaiah Simmons. I know I put up a quick video about it this morning. An intriguing idea about potentially adding him to the mix. Obviously, I would suspect that would be mostly a special teams focused signing, but I wouldn't completely discount the possibility that they might find a role for him in, on defense from scrimmage, etc. There's not a whole lot to suggest throughout his NFL career that he will suddenly, quote unquote, figure it out. But I think the man is a freak athlete, drafted 8th overall by the Cardinals a few years ago. Has never really found that niche that he can, contribute on the defensive side of the ball full time. I know he played a lot in the slot for the Giants last year after they brought him back on a 1-year deal. Perhaps the Packers could utilize him in some kind of capacity, mixing and matching their back end with whoever they're facing on offense, somewhat matchup dependent. And as we've discussed quite a bit this offseason already, we have seen and we saw several times last year where one injury in the secondary had a very unfortunate cascading effect, throwing people out of position, having guys do things they hadn't practiced all week, and it was hard to watch at times. And adding another guy with that skill set to be somewhat positionable, malleable, maybe that allows Halfley to gin up some stuff coverage-wise on the back end that doesn't completely fall apart if there's one injury. Again, there's a long way to go. They haven't even signed Simmons, at least as of right now when I went live at 9 p.m. Eastern, but he was in for a visit. And like I said, it is an intriguing aspect and a potential ability to shore up some things on the back end of the roster, something Gutekunst has liked to do throughout his tenure. We're heading into that final stretch before the draft. I can't believe I'm going to be in Wisconsin in 2 days. I fly out Wednesday morning, bright and early. And yes, this Thursday night, I'm going to be in my hometown of Appleton, Wisconsin, at the Timber Rattlers game for draft and craft night. Myself and Andy Herman will be having a pre-game chat, Q&A with folks coming in from all walks of life, I guess you could say. Timber Rattlers game is always a lot of fun. You can buy tickets. The link in the description of this video. They have $3 craft beers on offer all night. What more do you need? Forget me and Andy. You got $3 beers all night. Uh, I believe I've been told Andy and I will be throwing out a first pitch of some sort. So that would be worth the price of admission in and of itself, because God knows if it'll even hit home plate. But also, most importantly, the thing I'm most excited about is I will be firing off the Bratzuka at some point, I believe, around the fourth inning. And if you don't know what a Bratzuka is, I am begging you to show up, because it's going to be a lot of fun. All seriousness, hope you can make it. It's going to be a good time. Timber Rattlers games are always great. Mixing in some Packers talk before the game, that'll be a good time. And it's always great to hang out with Andy and talk Packers. So I hope to see you there. This Thursday night, I'm going to be in Wisconsin on Wednesday. Still crazy to me. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't remind everyone also about our meetup in Green Bay. Wednesday, April 23rd, downtown Green Bay at Stage 1 from 8 to 11 p.m. We got Carry the G on special, doing some Cheesehead TV giveaways, along with some special Packers guests showing up throughout the evening. Be there or be square. Telling you what, Green Bay is starting to rev up, getting ready for the draft, the NFL draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Exciting times. Although you wouldn't know that, this is old hat for the state of Wisconsin, since the 1940 draft was held in Milwaukee in December of 1939. Not that the league office would know this. Literally in their press release this morning about which prospects are attending the draft, they said, Detroit held the draft last year. This is the first time the state of Wisconsin has held the draft. Why would you bother to know your own history, NFL? That's just sad, man. That is just sad stuff. That's just sad stuff. I don't like sad stuff. Let's talk about some good stuff. Let's talk about some chats from Packers fans around the world. That's what we do here at Cheesehead TV. Ryan starting us off with a super chat. How are you, man? Who do you think the Packers will play week 1? Well, I think if Aaron Rodgers signs in either Pittsburgh or Minnesota, it'll probably be one of those teams. I know there's plenty to say, they should hold that and do it later in the year, etc. Well, man, could you imagine week 1? And I don't care if it's in Lambeau or at their place. Either one of those would be probably some record-breaking numbers. So that's, I suspect, going to hold some of the cards as far as what the Packers schedule looks like and where those particular contests fall. But, they travel to Pittsburgh, and obviously they play Minnesota twice. So I do suspect that where Rodgers lands could drive that decision. But, I'm always good with the Bears opener. I know some people are sick of it, but I always love opening against the Bears. But we'll see. We shall see. Big B is here. What's up, Big B? How you doing? Oh, Christopher, how are you, man? I made it over from Twitter, LOL. Let's fucking go. Stage 1, I'm super pumped. Driving from Mesa to meet you guys, ask some draft scenario questions about a certain linebacker, and watch the draft. Carry the fucking G. Christopher, you sound pumped up, man. Can't wait to meet you. One more week, brother. Going to be a lot of fun. Who else we got here, folks? All the way from sunny Coachella Valley. Allie, thanks for checking out the stream on Facebook. Appreciate you. RDC2. Finally, something related to football coming soon. Go Pack Go. I hear you, man. It's the desert right now because there's not really a whole lot as far as NFL headlines and news. I mean, there's little things. There's a workout. I know Shedeur Sanders is going to work out privately for the Giants. I mean, wake me up when that's over. There's just not a whole ton of intrigue going into this draft to drive kind of NFL interest, right? I need the NFL draft to get here. Also, I was thinking about this today, and I think I saw someone mention this on Twitter this morning. It's wild that we are this close to the draft, and every team still has their first round pick. 1 through 32. No one has traded a pick. And obviously, I would suspect this close to the draft, we're probably gonna hold to that through next Thursday. But that is a little unusual, right? And sometimes those are the types of things, teams having 2 picks and maybe utilizing those to jump up in the draft or something, can drive some conversations But this year it's very, very, very quiet. Very, team sitting still. Interested to see how that kind of aids things and how they play out throughout the first round in particular. Brandy, thanks for the super chat and for all your help here at Cheesehead TV. Caddy Perry went to space before the Lions or Vikings have won a Super Bowl. Cheers. Incredible. Or before the Bears ever had a 4,000-yard passer. Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. Chase, that is an excellent question, sir. Jaire, will he get moved? And just had a pretty significantly long chat with Justice about this the other day. You can find the video here on the channel. Man, moved is doing a lot of work there. I still think, and I know this is not a popular opinion, I still think he'll end up getting released. I don't think he's going to get moved during the draft. I think the draft will most likely come and go. I think the Packers are desperately trying. They're hoping they get someone to bite and they're able to move him for a significant pick, early day 3. But I don't see that occurring. I suspect they are going to end up cutting him. That's just my guess. And I know, like I said, I know it's not the popular opinion, but that's where I see this. I still see that, how it plays out. Jerry, how are you? Thanks for the super chat. Love the article on the corner of Cheesehead TV today about an hour before Chris Simmons dropped his cornerback rankings, and that was his second favorite guy. Jerry, as always, thank you so much for checking out Cheesehead TV. I assume you're talking about Maxwell Harrison, who Mark Oldacres wrote about, and it's certainly a possibility. I'm not going to completely discount it. I know Mark is very dogged in his reasoning there, and it all lines up and makes sense, but I would still be surprised if that was the selection. That's just me. This is how I'm rolling, but you can't say it would be a complete surprise. Like I said, I think a lot of it lines up. He is on the light side. He does need to kind of improve his tackling, etc. But man, don't tell me what he can't do. Tell me what he can do, and that kid can play ball. I'll give you that. But yeah, I think a lot of it will depend on how that first round falls, what the board looks like. If and when he is available at 23, who else is available? But yeah, I'm not completely discounting the possibility. No question about it. Ooh, Richard, this might be the same type of thing. Good evening, Mr. Nagler. Who are some prospects the Packers won't be interested in round 1, but will be too good to pass up in round 2 should they fall? You know who fits that, I think, to a T is Matthew Golden. You could knock me over with a feather if they drafted Golden in round 1. But if they somehow had him available in round 2, and now maybe that requires them to trade up ever so slightly, but I know he's been invited to the draft and he's been talked about a lot as a surefire first round wide receiver. But I'm telling you, man, I would not be surprised if he fell out of the first round. And if he did, I do think the Packers would most likely make a move or be interested enough to pull the trigger, but I'd be shocked if they took him at 23. Again, I know it's just my opinion. I know there are plenty of people who disagree with that, and I totally get it. But that would be kind of akin to what happened with Eddie Lacy back in the day. The Packers were never going to take Lacy in the first round. And in fact, they had no designs on taking Lacy at all. But by the time he was available to them towards the end of the second round, the value was way too good to pass up, and they pulled the trigger. And I'm not saying Golden's going to make it all the way down to the end of the second round. I'm just saying that is a perfect description of what you're talking about. A guy they would, I think they would never draft in the first, but they would be all in on in the second round. Colin, how are you, man? Thanks for the super chat. If the Packers don't take a corner in the first 2 days, would that be a tell they plan on keeping Jaire? Ooh, not necessarily. I wouldn't think one would have too much to do with the other, especially considering those picks. That's a long-term investment. Very rare you would suspect that guy, whoever that might be, is going to come in and contribute right away in a significant fashion, outside of maybe contributing in dime situations and things like that. I think they're in a good spot with their corner group right now. I think they would like to add to it if the right guy falls and the draft falls the right way. but I don't think they're needing to pull the trigger, even without Jaire in the mix. And I know currently he is on the roster. But yeah, I don't think that one would have too much to do with the other. But a lot to play out there, obviously. Ryan, how are you, man? Thanks again. For those who can't get to the draft, will there be a watch party? Will there be a watch party? Sir, of course there will be a watch party. Cannot wait. Thursday and Friday, no Saturday stream this year. I'll be doing individual reaction videos for most of the picks on Saturday, but live streaming both Thursday night and Friday night right here on the Cheesehead TV YouTube channel. Myself, tons of Patreon members, Carry the G Club members. You will be invited, as always, as you have been every year for the last few years. And yeah, one or two special guests stopping by as per usual. But yes, live streaming right across from the draft, not just across the street from Lambeau, right across from the draft. It's crazy. You can see the stage from Corey's backyard. It's insane. It's incredible. And we will have a live camera ready for you guys. I'm telling you, it's going to be nuts. But yes, we will be live streaming watch party both Thursday and Friday night next week during the draft. Please join us here on the YouTube channel. It's going to be a lot of fun. Holy cow, Rai, what a question. Which duo would have been better, Rodgers and Sterling Sharp or Favre and Adams? Rodgers and Sterling Sharp. Give me that all day long. And that's not to malign or degrade Favre and Adams, but Rodgers and Sharp, holy shit. Just, it's over. Every offensive record obliterated. Yeah. Wow. God, that got me excited. That would be amazing. I got to make that happen on Madden somehow. Soder. What up, Eeyore? You all know they are taking an offensive tackle at 23. Always good to see you, Soder. Christopher Preston, thanks for becoming a Carry the G Club member, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. This Soder. What the fuck am I supposed to do on Saturday? You can hang out. We'll have a page on the Patreon page. We'll have a special place where you guys can hang out on your own, just not on YouTube. But don't worry. We'll have you with an ability to get together. How about that? Oh, Big B, you're hilarious. Might not go to the draft just so I can join the watch party. You can do both. You can be at the draft on your phone. I don't even know if I told you this. Big B, you and everybody. When Sarah went to the game with my dad and my sister on Thanksgiving night this past year, they were sitting in the stands at Lambeau and watching the game, blah, blah, blah. And this dude was next to Sarah, and he was like listening to his phone, like up to his ear while the game was going on. And then he would like take it down and look at it for a little bit to look at the watch party of Corey and I across the street this dude was sitting right next to Sarah, and Sarah's like, wait, that's my boyfriend, like on dude's phone while he's at the game, watching the game. So whoever you are out there, I salute you. That's incredible. She was funny. She said, he kept saying things you always say, like run the fucking ball. That's good. I like it. What else we got? Richard, thank you for checking out the stream. Green Bay brought in University of Cincinnati OT John Williams for a pre-draft visit. That being said, favorite John Williams movie score? Richard, I like how you did that, because you know I ain't watched no John Williams film, but you know I've heard some John Williams film. Favorite John Williams movie score. I mean, you guys know it's hard for me to go anywhere else but Empire Strikes Back. That being said, one of my favorite opening scores of all time is Catch Me If You Can. He really lets his kind of jazz roots come out in that score and in that opener in particular. I love the crack that movie. Absolutely phenomenal. Randy, thanks for being a Carry the G Club member. Appreciate you, man. I say we trade Ja in our second round pick for Trey Hendrickson. Do you think that is too rich? I don't think it's too rich at all. I think that's perfect. The problem would be the Bengals would need, or most likely want, to have Jaire in the door and give him a physical. before they would agree to a trade. Remember, he is coming off an injury. Now, that doesn't mean, I'm sure they would talk to the agent, and the agent will probably say he's great. But I would suspect, especially if they're giving up Hendrickson in the deal, they would want to get a look, so to speak. On top of that, I don't think they would do it. You talk about, is that too rich? I don't think it's too rich. I think you do that in a heartbeat if you're the Packers. I don't think the Bengals would go for it, though. That's just me. Jim, I love it. I'm in Madison. Can't be asked to make the drive. Arsed to make the drive up to Green Bay for the draft. Once in a lifetime, Jim. Come on up for the hangout, the meetup, if nothing else. Come up on Wednesday night. And then go back before the draft begins on Thursday. Come on up, dude. Come on, man. Rai. Ooh, baby. What's your all-time starting Packers secondary? Oh, baby. Well, Herb Adderley and Charles Woodson are in the mix. That's all I know. Outside of that, it's really pick your poison, or pick what type you like, right? But those two are locked in my mind. I don't know, man. It's like, because I have favorites, but they're probably not the greatest of all time. But I would want Craig Newsome in there. I don't think Craig Newsome is one of the 4 best defensive backs in Packers history, but he's certainly one of my favorites. Yeah, that's a difficult exercise. But Adderley, Woodson, on lock. Legit on lock. Jim, Nick Collins is certainly in the mix. No doubt about it. No question about it. What else we got here, folks? Sterling Sharp is a man among boys. You ain't wrong about that. Oh, Brandy. Oh, that's painful. Favre would throw it to anybody covered instead of Adams. Why? We're trying to have a good time here, Brandy. Why you got to bring us down like that? That's tough stuff. That is tough stuff. Funko, do you think Ja is a top 3 Packers cornerback? Goat? I don't know what that means, but at the moment, do you mean? I think he was headed that way. He was headed that way before the shoulder injury. That really changed his game, though. And as well as he can play still, his play style changed a lot, and I don't think he's nearly as good as he was prior to that injury, which is unfortunate because, like I said, he was on his way to being an all-time great. It's unfortunate. No Bobby Dillon mention is disgusting. See, this is the thing. You start going down this path and people start picking their favorites or the ones that they are really adamant about. That's why I hey, man, we all got different flavors and things that we like about certain players. That's why I say Woodson and Adderley, those two there's no smoke on those. You cannot do it. A big carry the G flag. Now someone's thinking creatively now. I like it. I really like it. All right, buddy. I'm going to have to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Go Pack Go.